Mm. Mm. Betty Love, how you doing? Oh, I'm right there with you. Mm. Sean P. Yeah, no, I was just tired. I was exhausted. Walking around in these. Oh goodness. But it went well. It went way better than I could have expected. I was prepared. You know, I was um, I was engaged and I was focused. So it went really well. I definitely made the connections I wanted to make. Definitely impressed the people that I wanted to impress. And yeah, it was great. All right, Norchup, trying to Norchup a little bit. Yeah. So yesterday was crazy. Um, like I said, I met some incredible people. Got a chance to, really show off kind of what we're working on, how we're working on it, everything that is associated with it and attached to it. you know, literally had, my legal counsel right then and there, so that if I said something I wasn't supposed to, he could be like, actually, which that did happen. So, Clams, Mr. Verm, what up, brother? How you doing? I am. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. It's a real whose life am I living Friday, I think. Hell yeah. Well, well. Direwolf, what's up? What's up? I need to sell another Keeb. I guess I found another one I'd rather have. I mean, I would imagine. I'm pretty sure you're never satisfied. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that's just the cost of doing business in the Keeb world. Well, I don't really trust Pitchfork since they gave me and Kendrick Lamar 6.6 on our albums. Like, I don't trust them at all. Like, they get no respect from me. I mean, I can see you give me a 6.6. I'm me. But Kendrick? So now everybody's just terrible? It's like, nah, dog. And I'm not even a Kendrick fan. Like, let's not even act like I'm the biggest Kendrick fan, but it's just like, whoever's giving those reviews out there will be glad when AI replaces you. Oh, no, no. I mean, I love what No Man's Sky is doing, and, I wish them all the best and the success. Like, I don't root against No Man's Sky, but I'm a Starship captain, bro. Like, I belong in the chair, and No Man's Sky doesn't really give you the ability to command at that scale. So no shade to No Man's Sky, but Star Citizen is the only thing that scratches that itch. Um, it's just more grounded and just feels more compatible with my style of command. So yeah, I'm not a No Man's Sky player, but I don't hate or I don't dislike or root against No Man's Sky as a game or a concept. I think the more space games you have, the more honest Star Citizen has to be. I think the more space games that exist, the more competitive landscape that exists in space sims, the better Star Citizen has to be. But I'm a starship captain, bro. That's what I am. That's what I do. So, no shade to the No Man's Sky people, all love, but yeah. People, if you ever sat in the chair, you know the feeling. Like there's nothing like it, and there isn't like I really want people to understand. Like I don't play Star Citizen for Star Citizen. Like that's just a means to an end. I play Star Citizen because it's the medium to the chair. That's it. I don't give a fuck about CIG. I really don't, because they don't give a fuck about me. I promise you. What I love is going to war with my crew. I love being in the trenches with my crew. I love being in the fight with my crew. Making sure every person in that crew comes home. That's what I enjoy. So, yeah, dog, there's really nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. The brutal 60. Unified. Um, yeah, dog, your plan was excellent. Having that QR code um, as a wallpaper, so I could just open it up, and then people would take look at their camera. They press the link, and it would open up as a contact. Manifest software, Greydon Square, number, email. Boom, add that. Send me a text. Boom, connected. I made 7 solid connections. One of a person who was worth $80 million, multiple multi-millionaires. Everybody in there was basically a millionaire but me. Um, Apparently I didn't get the memo, but I got that last night though. So uh, we are we have a second meeting, and we have a potential. Uh, we've got a potential project that will be brewing out of that. So I'm about to jump into a meeting in like 3 minutes. Um, So, um, yeah, there's just a lot going on with what we were able to pull off last night, and I just got to give a special shout out to the homie that invited me. I'm definitely not gonna definitely not gonna dox him, but he definitely, I appreciate the belief. I appreciate the belief because not everybody believes in you enough to introduce you to their rich friends. One million IQ, a million intellectual. I appreciate that. But listen, as cool as that is, I'm trying to get that 100 million so we can do other things. You know, and again, showing people the value, the platform value, after showing them the sort of experience at everybody's face kind of melting. And listen, dog, it's crazy, and that's, we're showing the MVP. We're not showing the actual market version of this, right? I got private investors telling me to stay private, you know, um, to raise private equity funding and have a investment round of the same people that came to this VC thing last night. But it was like, yo, now we're talking about multiple avenues of funding. And we haven't even touched market yet. We have the best comic book experience in the world. Nobody's fucking with us. And I think, this is my own personal opinion, but it would be better to do business with us instead of trying to recreate the wheel with the triangle. Somebody's going to want to. Somebody's going to want to try that, and, good luck. But patent pending, like, this is proprietary tech. So, I will, I'm probably going to leave just some ambience on today. So, but I'll be looking at the chat. I'm going to jump into this meeting real quick. And basically, if you guys need me, I'll be right here. We may talk on the stream a little bit, we may not, but I will definitely let you guys know. Cool. All right. See you in a bit.
can't divulge.
One second. They can't even hear me. Sorry, they couldn't even hear me. Okay, so me and Tombstone are going to talk a little bit about last night. And while we can't talk certain names and certain things like that, the things we can talk about, I think, is very interesting for the company. But I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update as to how the night went, because I know everybody saw the pictures and probably saw the videos and everything like that. So, Tombstone, what are your thoughts?
We often use two genres of terminology when we speak about the business and just everything that we do. Uh, Wrestling terms
Mm-hmm.
and the occasional football term.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I was to use a football term for last night, it would be moving the chains. Um, I can't even explain how important last night was and how successful it was. Uh, what up, GA? What up, Biddy? I can't, I can't, I can't explain to you how successful last night was, uh, and the many avenues that has opened up as a result of that.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I'm gonna take this opportunity to give big ups to the big CEO for coming up in there like he already won 5 times. The 5 time,
5 times.
5 times.
5 times.
He, he came in there. What up, Discord? He came in there like he already had the belt several times already. He'd already been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. ESPN was talking about. He's not the only one that says that he's the greatest. ESPN says it.
Yeah.
That's that shit. That's that shit Becky Lynch was doing has been
Oh
doing for the
yeah.
last few
Oh
months.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
ESPN said it.
Yeah.
Right?
She's
Like
right.
he did it. And then like sometimes, well, all the time, in order for you to actually open the lock, the tumblers have to all fall the right way, and
Yeah.
it sounds like those things fell the right way last night, man. And then I started doing, me, I'm gonna do my research on everything.
Yeah.
I start seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. This is
Again,
huge.
it's a lot of stuff we can't really say, can't really talk about names and all that other stuff, but apparently the platform went over very well, very very well.
Yeah. I will say that
What up,
pitching
Ryan?
pitching to people who are, have the ability to sort of change your financial circumstance overnight, you always feel like the worst they could say is no. But
Yeah, all I can say is no.
I feel like we have the killer app. I believe we have the experience that when you see it, it sells itself. Everyone kind of told me that last night. You were like, man, it kind of sells itself. And I'm like, I know. It's like, I don't really have to.
Right.
That's why I tell people, I only need 5 minutes and a working connection.
Facts.
And I will
Facts.
show you how valuable this will be. Because ultimately, what what we're trying to create is innovation where there hasn't been any since the invention of the medium.
Yeah, it's been a dry spot. It's been a long dry gap of just dry. This is how we do things. This is the only way to do things. This is how we'll do things forever.
Yeah.
And we basically threw a rock and that's still water with this platform.
You know what's
That's
crazy?
basically what we did.
I was asked last night, who are our competitors? Like, who would be our potential competitors? And I was like, everybody who's trying to do comic books like the past.
Yeah.
Everybody who's trying to maintain the static, one-dimensional analog comic book experience. Those are our competitors. We are trying to do something as a platform that is fundamentally dynamic and unique and bespoke to the experience of the consumer. And comics have always had the assets to do that, but no one has ever utilized and put those assets together to do what we're trying to do.
I think I know why too. I've had a little time to think about all of this stuff. I think it's a couple of reasons why people didn't think of going in the direction that we decided to go in. I think one of the biggest weapons of mass distraction that took place in the comic book industry was Hollywood.
Mm.
I think it took the collective consciousness of comic book entrepreneurs and other vendors that work in that space. It completely took their attention off the ball of evolving the stuff, because it at least gave the appearance that the future for comic books was movies.
Right, which is not true.
It's not true. And I think that because of that, a lot of them ceased thinking in terms of the reader experience. They thought that was covered. You pick up the book and you read it, or you go get a comic book reader app and you read it that way. Like, I think everybody took their eye off improving that aspect of the industry, and because of that, it allowed it to get stagnant. They had a whole big dose of "it'll do," "that's fine," "it works," instead of going, "how can we make this better? How can we also utilize the fact, the very real fact, that the vast majority of content consumed online is video."
Right.
And I think instead of thinking in terms of, okay, that's what people mostly consume, how do I integrate that and other things of that nature into our product or our service, they start thinking in terms of, man, sure can't wait till our characters are in the movie. Sure can't wait to, that sort of shit. And while that sounds great, I don't think any of us knew that we were very quickly approaching the moment where Hollywood will be changed forever, because a lot of that gatekeeping shit is going the fuck away because of technology, like it does with almost every other industry. Right?
Sounds like
and
the
they
gatekeeper
didn't factor that in.
Yeah, sounds like the gatekeeper is losing their ability to gatekeep, and they're not happy
That's
about
it.
it.
They're not happy about it, bro. And then they're little imps who they've only envisioned a world where that shit exists. So they get highly upset that you're part of what they consider the spoiler that's going to come in and destroy the infrastructure that they wanted to be a part of, because they think it's something that it's not. I tell all artists this, I've been saying this for years. That signed artist world is not what it looks like to you as either a fan or a fan/artist. That signed world is not what you think it is. It's smoke and fucking mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. And I'll say more than half of you wouldn't like it if you were signed. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
You would eventually have a problem with the company, the people that work at the company, the way they're handling your product, the way they're handling your image, all of that shit. And that's the same with Hollywood. We hear horror stories about Hollywood all the time.
Oh my
Hollywood's got a lot to answer for, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, these people running around here now, with these fanciful, nostalgic delusions reimagining what Hollywood is. Yeah. And it's the same thing in the comic book world. We could talk about comic book world in this industry that has been predatory to some of the greatest artists that we look at and writers that we look at and put reverence on their name. The way the industry has been set up for over 100 years shits on all of them.
Yeah.
Even the ones that we have put on pedestals like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, that old industry shitted on them and their estate.
I mean, how many times did Ron tell us about how he never got paid from shit? right?
Yes.
I want to shit.
Yes.
I want to make it just so I could pay Ron for all the shit he never got paid for.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Oh,
A,
by the
a
way, I
lot of
should
those
probably
those.
do since there's one day left for the Brother Bones, I should probably
Oh yeah.
post that too. Hold on one second. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
post this link. The Brother
Yep.
Bones. Just so anybody is, just in case if anybody's interested in the Brother Bones project by our good buddy Structure and Ron Fortier, that's the link right there. I think there's one day left.
I
We should
believe
probably
so.
meet as well and figure out what we're gonna do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm down for whatever.
Okay.
Um,
Bet.
but yeah,
But yeah, man, I feel like because uh, we, and I'm going to say specifically also Graydon, wanted to ask certain questions about how can this be better. Um, for a lot of people, they don't want it to be better because this is also something you'll learn in music as well. So a lot of the producers, artists, and shit that we looked up to that spent so many years in the music industry, you'll find out when you start looking into their business practices that they've also cheated people. You know
oh
why?
yeah,
Because they came into the industry, that was the industry standard. The industry standard was to take advantage of artists. So if you go in as an artist and then you eventually transition into corporate or executive mode, the going thing to do
mm-hmm.
is to take advantage of artists. It's the same thing in comic books. Same thing. And the people that are fighting for the continuation of that old busted ass system that took advantage of artists are not true friends of artists. They're
Yeah,
just not.
yeah,
They're waiting for their turn to be able to take advantage of you. That's what they're waiting for. I sure can't wait till I get into that position where I can take advantage of a bunch of
right.
artists.
Because remember, the whole adage is like, I don't want to be the quote unquote hoe. I'd rather be the pimp and pimp the hoes.
Yes.
But you don't
Yes.
realize that you're still perpetuating the cycle of abuse, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like you think you're over because you're the pimp now,
Right.
but
Right.
you don't understand you're still a part of that system. Just because
Right.
you the pimp don't make the system of the sexual exploitation right.
Go
You know what
away.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I
Exactly.
feel like it's the same
Exactly.
thing in these predatory business practices where it's just like just because you came from hip hop don't make your predatory practices any less
Any better.
yeah, any better than,
A fact.
so that I do think a lot of that. But from the comic book platform perspective, one of the things that I felt, and somebody asked me this last night at the event, they were like, why comics? And I looked at them and I said, because I didn't come from comics. And they were like, what? And I think a lot of people think I was like a comic book fan. I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
my tag team partner. That's Tombstone. He
Right.
brought me into
Right.
comics. I
Right.
wasn't in the, I'm a Trekkie. I'm a space opera
Right.
dude. I'm,
Right.
Captain
Right.
Picard and the USS Enterprise, and that's my shit. I wasn't in the fucking,
Right.
I didn't get into fucking comic books until you, bro.
That's yeah. Yeah. Which is crazy.
I wasn't
That's
into
crazy to
to,
me.
to comic book like lore and and then I got a chance to like go and read all this shit because you were like, bro, I mean, you like this shit anyway.
Yes.
You're talking about this shit in your
Yes.
music anyway. Go read that. Go read that. There's a thing that talks about what you're talking about right here. And I would
Yeah.
go through and I was finding all these things that you were talking about. I was like, oh damn, dog, that's fucking crazy. And so that's how I became more interested in comic books. But I have to tell people all the time, like, yeah, the business is a comic book platform, but I didn't come
Yes.
from comic books as an insider. I'm an outsider. I'm a guest
Right.
in the house of comic books. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all live here. Some of y'all pay rent here. Some of y'all own property on this land. I don't, not
Right.
yet. I will,
Right.
but
Yeah.
right now I'm a guest. So that's the way I look at it.
And it's actually interesting that a lot of the conversations that you had from last night. See, it's kind of reminds me of when I was just reading comics for years. You're only on one side of the conversation. The other side of the conversation is once you start producing comics, once you go into business to create, sell. That's the other side of the conversation. I feel like you were on the other side of the conversation of business last night. It's one thing to be a consumer and to interact with products and services from a consumer standpoint. But then the moment we took the took that jump to create a business, and it's not our first. Your music was a business for a long period of time in your life, right? So once we took that step, then you started seeing it from the other side of the conversation about you start thinking about, okay, this is how much product I have. I have to flip this in order to make the money back, and then some to get a profit, right? These are things you start talking about. Well, damn, I got to get these ingredients or things that I need to make this product. So where can I get the best price for that so that I'm not spending so much money that I'll never recoup? That's when you start being on the other side of the conversation with that shit, right? And I
Yeah.
think last night you went a long way into being into that world, and that's the world we need to get to in order for all of the stuff that we've been working on to bloom the way we want to see it bloom. You got to be in the room to have the conversations with the right people.
And we've had these conversations amongst ourselves. Like this isn't stuff we haven't prepared for amongst ourselves in house. We've had
Facts.
conversations
Facts.
about how long would it take and how much money will we need for the company to become cash flow positive, right? Like how much money
Yes.
would we, or how much equity would we be giving, willing to give up for the equity we would be selling off, and the decision authority that comes with that. We've had
Right.
those conversations internally,
Absolutely.
but I've never got a chance to sort of ask that question by people who could actually invest in the company. And of course, my goal was not to get any sort of yeses or commitments last night. That wasn't my goal at all.
Right. Right.
It's like these sort of events, you go with a bunch of cards and you pass your card out. But see, I had a different approach, right? I had the QR code. So I'm in people's phones now. And, they're in my phone. And the ability to be able to just pull up your phone, you scan, you literally just take a picture of this QR code, and now shout out to Mr. Discord, and you take a picture of my QR code, and now it just pops up as contact manifest software, Greydon Square.
Right.
And it's just like,
Right.
oh wow, this is real. So yesterday, anybody was like, oh, let me get your info. Boom, pop that shit out right there, and we were off and running. So there was
That's
no resistance last night as to the things that we wanted to accomplish. We accomplished everything we wanted to last night.
And there was a lot of very impressed, influential people who saw the product, we have a product slash service.
Yep.
So they saw that, and
It's a
was like,
SaaS,
oh,
right?
shit.
It's a
SaaS.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a software as a service platform for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to be 2026 is going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very.
Let me tell you something. We get a title shot in 2026, bro. I don't
Yeah.
give a motherfuck.
Absolutely.
We get a title shot in 2026.
Bro,
Straight up.
if we have to interrupt
Yep.
every tag team match,
Every tag team match. If we have we have to cut a promo against every competitor out there, we will cut hella promos.
promos. Listen,
I will call
If I
in
have to
all
attack-
favors.
if I have to attack a motherfucker while they're giving their interview backstage with the chair shot or the fire extinguisher, it's up and
Hey.
it's stuck.
Can you imagine somebody from like a rival comics platform? They're doing an interview, just a podcast. You hear rumbling in the background, like, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all barging in here?
going on?
Yeah, just barging in here for. Hey, man, I want to know what's up. How come y'all ain't even returning our calls? We want to square off with y'all with this competition or whatever. Like, it could be hilarious, bro.
Imagine that.
I'm telling
At
you.
the Comic-Con, bro.
Yes.
Imagine that we all San Diego at the Comic-Con.
I think that happened at E3 once. Didn't like Nintendo
Whoa.
press like Microsoft or something crazy?
They might have.
E3.
Microsoft doing bad now.
Eve.
Microsoft
It was
doing
back in the day. I think there was even almost a fight or something.
I know what happened at the New Music Seminar back in the goddamn early 90s between the lynch mob and Above the Law and shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was I remember that.
Yeah,
Never got a chance to go to the new music seminar, bro. Always
yeah.
wanted to.
I
Never got
want
a
to.
chance to
I
go.
want to be able to literally battle the, um, the other comic book publishers.
It's not fair, bro. I'm gonna tell you why. It's completely not fair. We saw this when we went down Georgia and did our first business convention at Dragon Con. We saw that they are stuck on this old thing
Model. Yep.
about how to do things, and we not. That's why every time we tell people that's in the business, that, oh, yeah, we went down Dragon Con, and instead of staying behind the table, we walked the 5 hotels. We walked the
Bro,
5 hotels, and they give us a look like, what? Yeah,
bro, people will never believe how, number one, the sort of hands we're dealt and how we're able to be like, nah, we throwing these four, give me four, and taking that new hand and just being like, bro, I got a winning hand now. Because
yeah.
when we were at the Dragon Con and shit, I remember looking at where they thought we were gonna be and thinking like, you really think we're gonna stay
You gonna
here?
stay here? You crazy?
I was like, yo, you got the bag? He was like, I got it. I was like, all right, grab all the shit, dog. We
Bro.
about to fucking roll. And we grabbed all of our shit. We left the little things there to let people know it was our table, but we
Yes.
grabbed everything else.
But we left. We got
We
the fuck
fucking
up out
got
of
the
there,
fuck up
bro.
out of there. We start hitting the streets. We was just approaching motherfuckers like, hey, what's up? You like such and such? Tombstone would come from the other side, start pitching them and shit.
Right?
We be running the motherfuckers on the elevator and shit. Tombstone be pitching them
We
on the
was,
elevator.
bro.
Dog, we was on that shit.
To the
dog.
point where they remembered us. Like, by the midway through the convention, me and Gray would go on an elevator, and they like, they're going to Majestic. They're going to Majestic.
Because they knew who we were, dog. They knew,
They knew
we
who
was
we
pressing
were.
them. Hey, GA was like Tombstone busting like Suge Knight. Come with Majestic if you don't want other comic books standing in the videos. Dog, you got to do that with AI. You got to do that with AI. We
Got
cut
to.
our promos
Oh,
with
got to.
AI, bro.
Bro,
Oh,
we
my
got to
goodness.
do it. We got to do it. Bro, you know what the main weapon we have I'm sitting here thinking now what it is? It's audacity. That's what it was. Like, the audacity for us to not sit behind that goddamn table and to walk amongst 80,000 people with our books, our shirts, and our card readers, stop and hold conversations with cosplayers, laugh, joke, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, yeah, you know, we do comics. Here's such and such. To literally go into, how many times did I go into elevator? And by the way, some of these elevators were the exact same elevators used in Winter Soldier, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
How
right.
many times did I go in there, get in the middle, and be like, before we get started?
I that's hilarious. I remember you saying that. I got a bunch of pictures and videos from that I never posted. I'm thinking about posting those.
I do too.
Yeah, we should go back through and post those. In fact, we should put
We
that
really
on our
should.
Patreon. Patreon.com
Agreed.
/Majestic Comics. We'll post a bunch of
We got a ton of pictures from back. Yeah,
we should do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Doc, I feel like we're at the point where that second meeting will probably get a confirmation on a new project and some sort of a new funding line, and then from there, it's like, hey, depending on what comes first, you know, we're sort of off and running. I still think the Kickstarter is probably going to be something we do, just because there's no reason
for
not
some
to.
stuff.
Yeah,
there's no reason not to. Yeah. It's a great way to roll stuff out. There'll be new ways to roll things out too if everything falls in line the way it looks like it is. There'll be other ways to roll things out as well. You'll definitely see more of us. It's gonna be, like I said, 2026. We get our title shot.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
We get our title shot, bro.
I feel like there's very few things that should prevent us from that, because all the things will be in place for us to be operational and to scale. The thing that I'm interested in, is scaling. Making sure that we can have hundreds and if not thousands of publishers, and if, you know, not thousands but hundreds of thousands, if not millions of, you know, monthly average readers. And between this and the manga side, though, we That's
You
a
just gotta keep putting it in,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Gotta keep putting it in.
It's hard for me to. Anyway, you guys got any questions about last night?
We just gotta keep putting it in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Discord also said anybody in the Discord wants that kind of link made, the QR codes. He's really good at that.
Yeah,
Dog.
he made one for me. It's amazing.
Yeah, dog, it works. And somebody told me about that last night. They're like, usually these things don't work, and I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, my shit. You know, I was just so quick with it, man. I was so slick with it last night, man. I was on it. I was on it. I had been prepping for that.
He
like a
said,
show.
usually these things don't work.
Yeah, they were like,
Oh,
usually
shit.
that
Give me
shit.
1 minute, bro. Give me
Yeah,
one
go
second.
ahead. Go ahead. Yep. Yeah, somebody was like, I was telling them, I was like, you know, was deployed, all this kind of shit. And they were like, how old are you? I was like, I just turned 44. And they were like, bro, you are not fucking 44. And so I had to pull out the old ID and to prove my age last night. And I'm under 225 pounds for the first time in like a year. Oh. Maybe even longer, but I'm at like 224 now. Trying to get to like 215 and then I'll be going back up.
I have returned.
Big clams?
Jams. But yeah, man, like I said, last night was, it sounds by all indications, this is something that needed to happen in order to grow the company. This absolutely needed to happen. And it's probably going to be a way more of these sorts of outings and meetings. And a lot of stuff is going to branch off from this. A lot of meetings branch off from this. So,
yeah. GA says, I remember meeting you in the hood in AZ. Crazy to see how far you've come with so much more to go. Yeah, I mean, that just, to that point, it's never too late, and it's never too impossible to have the audacity to try. That's what I think we have. Like you said, our greatest characteristic as a company is we have fucking balls. And I mean, like, we will put ourselves out there to get fucking crushed if it means we have an opportunity to pitch our idea. And we don't care who it is. I'll say yes to almost every opportunity. As long as it's not no Diddy shit, like, I'm going to be at that party. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be at the event. I'm going to be at the VC capital, funding event. And I know a lot of people have issues with our sort of economic system in the world, and I get that. But I can tell you this. If I was a billionaire, you think I'd be a piece of shit? You think I wouldn't try to just fucking help people? You think I wouldn't try to build group homes and try to raise people out of poverty and all those different kind of things?
Right.
And we just need to get there.
That's the whole point. And again, that having that audacity also means the audacity to think you can do something that everybody else is saying you can't.
Right.
Like how dare you read comic books for all those years and think you're gonna make one? How dare? Look, a lot of you share that. If you rap, you share some of that audacity. You just gotta place it into other things.
Yep.
Like you heard your favorite rappers rapidy rapping all over the place and doing music videos and being in magazines
Hey, I
and being
resemble that
talked about and all
remark.
of that shit. All right? You saw all of this and then you said, I can do that. That's audacity. That's audacity right there.
That's
To
pure
say, I can do
guile.
that. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Chutzpah.
It's funny you say that
Uh-huh.
because I went to the Renaissance. I went to the Renaissance Fair twice, right?
Yeah.
Had a good time both times. The very first time, one of the people at the exhibit was doing their little shtick, and somebody was trying to be part of the show without actually being
Being
part
in
of
the
the
show.
show, just
Okay.
trying to, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And the guy, the first thing the guy said to him was like, um, "You're not part of the show, sir. All that is audacity and guile." It's like,
That's funny. Yeah, man. But see, the distance that we're trying to go is to be able to solidify this community in a way to where, each house has the resources to essentially take over a part of the world, right? And I
yeah,
mean, expand this shit into a multi-generational medium as it was always intended to be. This will be
yes,
passed down to people's progeny. This will be safeguarded by them. And so
right,
it is our job to create something to leave them with that is of value
yeah,
and substance that they can then, you know, perpetuate and continue to grow and flourish upon. We've built the foundation when it comes to OBC, Majestic Comics, Manifest Software. These are all like foundational pieces we're putting in place so that, 100 years from now, Grand Unified is a powerful force in the world. Somebody else will be in the chair. Somebody else will be House Chancellor. But
mm-hmm.
the goal and the mission will always remain the same. And I just think this is where we are in the path of that.
I completely agree with that. It's also, that's one of the things about being able to create opportunities for people in the community that have talents that went ignored, or maybe they thought they couldn't do it. It was just a dream of theirs. But there are several people in the community who I think from seeing us be audacious. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna try this. We're gonna do this. It has them digging in their bag of things that they always wanted to do and saying, well, why can't I do this? Like when you even talk about your course, your hip hop course, there's a lot of the people in there probably thought, I don't think I could do that. But
Right.
then they're like, why can't I do that? Why not? Right? Um, and I think it's the same as even with Majestic Comics. I'll never forget the moment we really like stepped in to that space and created the business and did all that other stuff and then start publishing books and start all of that. I start seeing more people who maybe had a thought that they could write back in the back in the day that they gave up on because life is one of the biggest, most discouraging things at times, and there's never a shortage of people telling you what you can't do, right? And maybe they kind of bought into that, but then they saw us do it and was like, hey, I can write. I've always wanted to. Let me give
Hmm.
that a try. And if we can do that for other people, um, I think that we've earned our right to be remembered years from now. After all of this is said and done, we earned the right to be remembered. For people to say, yeah, those guys kept moving the chains. They kept moving the chains and trying new shit. And whether they fell flat on their face or whether they
Hmm.
soared to the heavens with the shit, they wasn't afraid to try that shit. So why not? Look, they take one look. Oh, Tombstone's not that bright. If he could do it, I could do it. Think if you need to think that, right? Tombstone could do it. I can do it.
They a
Yeah,
goddamn lie. Shit. Um, First of all, they can't do it, but interestingly enough, you see, I've been having hilarious conversations about AI on my threads, right? And it's really
I
just,
saw one today. I
oh,
saw one
dude,
today.
it's just to bait people so that I could have it processed by my AI to train AI on. I'm developing this thing that will interact with negative discourse and just filter it out from you through AI. You'll be able to
That's
plug it
right.
into
I
your
remember you
back
said
end.
you was
Yeah.
yeah,
So what I'm
yeah.
doing is I'm mining negative discourse so it can train. I can train my AI on it, and then I'm gonna basically make that available to pro AI people, to where they can
Right,
just filter out your AI can handle the negative AI discourse.
right. You don't have to waste your
You don't
time
have to waste your time.
with it.
Yeah, that's, to me, that is the
It's
best usage of AI.
it's working. It's definitely working. I saw some of the responses from some people who obviously don't know who the fuck you are, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
some
They're
what
like,
was
you're not creative at all. I'm like, I, okay, yeah, I huh? Like,
you know,
okay.
the funny thing about all of that is the moment you come to the realization that people that were doing the type of creativity that was actually getting them noticed enough for other people to acknowledge them and purchase their stuff and all those other things and quote their things and all of this stuff, they're using AI. I guess the cognitive dissonance is you want to tell yourself that only the hacks are using AI. You want to tell yourself that. But when you then go and see people who, long before this was a thing, we were doing this.
Mm,
Right. Tell the folks about all the lore I wrote before ChatGPT even how
mm-hmm.
much is sitting in that goddamn Google Drive that when Honey Dragon saw it for the first time, it was like that scene in Die Hard where the black dude opens the finally gets the safe open and they look in there and you hear the music da 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 da. That's all pre AI. So
I
again, like it ruins their talking point, right? It ruins it.
yeah, and I personally feel like the discourse around AI is so unnuanced. It is
Yeah.
so, like, emotionally adolescent
Yes.
that I have a hard time taking the insults of, like, I saw someone say, if you use AI art, I'm probably not going to listen to your song. And I'm like, you weren't going to listen anyway. That's an empty threat. You were never going to listen. Not ever. Not ever, bro. So thanks for threatening to not do something you would have never done.
That's like them saying now, I'll never buy your music.
You would have never bought my
Nobody
music.
buys music
Nobody
now.
buys
What
music
are you
anymore.
talking about? What are you saying?
Yeah. It's. I hope that
Toothless tigers, bro.
I,
Toothless tigers.
I hope that the discourse around AI gets more nuanced and gets more interesting.
I
I
think it
saw
will.
one somebody said yesterday. They were like, nobody ever talks about the people who use AI because of physical disabilities or mental
Yep.
disabilities and
Yep.
how it helps
Yep.
them. He was like, I'm disabled and I use
Right.
AI because I can't play piano. Physically, I
Right.
can't do it. So this is how I do it. You gonna tell me I'm fucking
Right.
evil too?
Yeah, you're evil.
And of course, somebody
You're the
underneath was
bad
like, "You're
guy.
evil," and it's just like, get the fuck out
But see, a lot of that though, bro, is
of
that goofy ass internet culture
here. Yeah.
where motherfuckers want to be contrarian just for the sake of being contrarian. And this is why I always say, man, like that's your hang up, bro, not mine. Now, if you wanted to have a nuanced conversation about that shit, there are absolutely things about that industry I don't like. But the reason I'm not going to give you any of that is because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to hear what my actual thoughts on this are.
I agree
Just
with you.
evidenced by your behavior in the conversation. The first thing you went to do is to demonize everybody that uses the technology. But I noticed, and I said this before, I've noticed none of you got the same energy for cell phones.
Well, none of them have the same energy for social media in general.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if social media and online dating and all these things were such an ill for society, you know, where's this energy for the technology used in the production of music, right? I still can't get
yeah.
past this idea that people are okay with samples. They're okay with instrument samples. You know, at least one thing I will give Mr. Verm, you know, he's
Mm-hmm,
sort of anti AI music, right? But
mm-hmm.
one of the things I will always give him credit for is he's consistent, right?
Right.
His thing is he just simply gives more respect to people who play their own instruments. It doesn't matter in what genre and how it fucking works. He
Mm-hmm,
just is more of a fan
mm-hmm,
of humans performing the actual musical act. Totally fine. As
mm-hmm.
long as you're
Right,
consistent, right?
right.
But he feels that way about samples. He's like, no, that's a sampled drum. I want you to play that drum and just mic that drum and record it. To me, that's a much more consistent position to have than being
It
like,
is.
I hate people who
It
use
is.
AI to make music, but you use sample and loops and plugins and fucking auto tune, dog. Like, how is that any less
I, bro, I
bullshit?
literally saw somebody try to critique a dude in a commercial for using Suno, and
That's crazy.
in the critique, he mentioned you could have just used the plugin, and I go, a plugin, bro. See, this is the part that they are either refusing to understand or whatever. But everything about the sample game, and everything like that is like I said the last time I was on the show. That rings hollow to hip hop people.
Totally
It
does.
just does.
Totally does.
Cause we've heard y'all say for decades, it ain't music, it ain't music, it ain't music, it'll never be accepted because it ain't music. And then it was accepted by the world. The world accepted it. Yes, there's still those enclaves of people that are still saying the stuff they was saying in the 80s. Absolutely. But if you look at this, the sheer number of adoption, right?
Mm.
Of the culture, the cultural aspects of it, the musical aspects of it, all of that. Just look at the global adoption of the shit. Clearly you lost that conversation. You clearly lost that conversation.
Mm.
And I feel like it's the same thing is going to be with AI because all of the things you can point out that you think is a negative will eventually be fixed. That's how a lot of new tech, early tech is. It's a lot of shit in there that ain't quite right. Now,
Yeah.
back in the day, people were scared of nuclear energy. Remember that shit?
Yep.
They were
Still
scared
are.
of nuclear energy.
Still are.
And now people starting to realize, a lot more people starting to realize, it might be kind of good to have some nuclear energy.
Yeah.
Things
Somebody
might be
says,
cheaper.
I made a commercial for a local business using Suno, Sora, Chat GPT, and Blender. Look at you, dog.
Look at you. Look at you
That's
go.
fucking
Look
awesome.
at you go.
See, that what he
That's his
did would have
workflow.
taken a team of what, 5, 6, 7 people, maybe
Right.
20 years ago,
Right.
10 years ago.
Right.
It's
Right.
one person.
And
That's one
I'm gonna
person.
tell you why it's I'm gonna tell you why that's very valuable. It's very valuable on his end because it boosts his capabilities. It's also very valuable on the end of the business end of the person that purchased that for him because a lot of business people are not going to take the time or don't have the time to sit there and study which one of these pieces of software or tech I should use in order to create this. The same way they didn't have the time to learn how to use a camera, the same way they didn't have to learn how to edit video and do all these things and be a graphic designer. No, they're running a business that does a specific thing. They make widgets. That's what they do. They make widgets. Now they need to find out how they can market it. Oh shit, I need a commercial. They don't then go out and learn cinematography. No, they go and find somebody who knows how to do the tools, who has the skill to do all of that shit. This is no different. The average business person is not that's out there every day with his brick and mortar trying to make ends meet. Is not sitting up there watching Wes Roth or David Shapiro or any other number of other AI channels out there to get tutorials on how to use these tools.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love watching AI content and everything, but at a certain point, like, It just becomes stuff that you're watching so that you know what's out there. You have to use that shit.
That's it.
You have to
You
figure out
have to
how to
use it.
implement it into your production. If you can't, it doesn't really
Absolutely.
matter. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit out there that's just so useful that no one will ever use. You know?
That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. They will never use it, and does require somebody who's interested to go in and figure that out. That's a lot of time figuring out what the best tool you can use for the job, or what best combination of tools in your workflow can get that thing done. Like I do a lot of stuff for my wife, for a lot of her advertising. Do a lot of that stuff because I can. It was a time when I couldn't. And I wish this was around 2012 uh, or some shit like that early on.
Sorry, I was putting in my RSVP for formation.
Nice. Yeah, I wish some of this tech was around. Man, let me tell you something. Some of this tech was around, let's say 2010, 2009.
Mm.
Your whole Tombstone experience would have been different. It's like,
Well, and my thing is this. Like, okay, so you're at a point now where you have made music your entire life. You can
Yeah.
have a recreation of your younger voice through AI.
yes,
I'm hearing a young
Absolutely.
Beanie Siegel recently. Did you
Right.
hear Beanie Siegel?
I heard it. I heard that shit.
What did
That
you
shit's
think?
fire too.
It's fucking fire.
That shit's fire.
It sounds
Yeah.
just
I
like
saw the
him.
video. They got a music video.
It sounds just like him.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is like, okay, so you don't want people to have their own voices? You don't want people to be able to, it's like they don't really specifically say what they have a problem with, only that they have a problem with AI.
Yeah, it's just that, they're stealing art. A very unnuanced way of looking at it. They're stealing art.
Yeah, well,
All of you have been stealing art. Let's make this perfectly clear.
if you, yeah, go ahead.
All of you have been stealing art since you've been on the internet. All of you.
Not only do I
Either-
not care about that whole stealing art argument, I just want to say
Yeah.
this, but like if you have
Ridiculous.
a fucking cell phone or wear shoes, I guarantee you
Bro.
that was made by slave labor in some second or third
Sweatshop.
world country. So please get the fuck. Yeah, you
Yo,
can
when
keep
you
that
eat
shit.
seafood, bro, when you eat seafood, I worked in that business on the sanitation side of it, and I am telling you now, when they would get a lot of their the food from those third world countries, get those imports, I have seen videos of the working conditions. So when you take your monkey ass to your local restaurant to get yourself a lobster, just consider, right,
Doc.
that if any of that food was harvested from some of those third world places, you have contributed to some shit that you're now online trying to act all holy and noble about.
Yeah. It's somebody said AI makes excuses look weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
it's like, well, what do you have that's stopping you when you have all of these tools that could help accelerate at least 2 minimum viable product? And then you can go present your shit in front of an investor and see if they want to fund your idea.
Yep. Bro, no, what they're telling you, bro? They telling you, you a small business and you want to do animation for your commercials or for some promotional stuff, then fuck that. You need to go out there and spend your 10 to 15 to $20,000 for 1 minute or 2 minutes of animation. You better do that, Mr.
Yeah.
Small Business person. No, you're not allowed to use the tool. Meanwhile, the big companies are all using those tools. They're all saving. These big companies have a war chest of money.
Yes, they
and
do.
They're using those tools to save money. But you telling the small business
Yeah.
that he's not allowed to use a tool that's going to save them money. Fuck out of here. I can't respect the same way you said. Some of them run around saying, "Oh, if you use this to do that, I can't respect it." I can't respect you for putting an undue burden on smaller businesses that when you know you don't have the power to stop larger businesses from using it. You know you don't.
Hold on. I met someone else last night. And He just sent me a message on LinkedIn.
Oh, dope. Dope.
Trying to remember.
You made an impact, bro. You made an impact. Right where you needed to. Right where you needed that impact. You made that right there. And
Hey, he
it's
says,
sobering.
I'm not going to say his name, but he says, hey, Graydon, nice to meet you as well. Not sure if you're aware of blankety blank, but they're a founder support group and they're co hosting a following event next week, and we would love to have you stop by. Let's fucking go!
Listen. I got a really good brother I know that used to run I think he still runs the Baltimore Rap Battle League pit fights. His name is Shaka Pitts. Shaka Pitts was very well known, especially locally, rapper, but also he's from New York, but also he's an audio engineer that has engineered some of the big shit, like artists that you would know that he was in the studio with. He was in the studio with. You know what he used to always say back in the day, and he still says it now, and I totally stole it from him.
Mm-hmm.
Your network is your net worth.
Yep. Yep. Well, he's fucking right.
Yeah,
He's fucking right. I just
yeah.
responded like, yo, very interested, and let's make this happen.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's fucking go.
Dog, that's so crazy.
It's insane. Hold on, let me see if I got a phone call.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be getting this phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If
give me
you got to
one
bounce
second.
out, yeah, I'll we can link up a little bit later.
Okay, bet, bet,
Yeah, yeah.
bet.
Hit me up.
Because for those who don't know, my mother-in-law went to the hospital earlier this morning, so I'm just
Ooh,
trying to make
I
sure.
was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
aware.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Trying to
definitely go
jump
tend to
in.
that, brother. Hit me up. Peace, peace.
All right, brother. Peace, peace.
Yep. So that message came in at 9. Let's check this out. Damn, dog. This shit is happening. This shit is legitimately happening. Big clams?
Oh, hi there.
What up, Mr. Broken?
It's just chilling out on my patio, smoking. I got Sinfully Blind playing in my ears as well.
Oh, dope, dope. Well, you're going out to the world, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna join you.
Smoking on some more Animal Face today.
Animal fit.
Yeah, I forget what the lineage was, but it's a sativa leaning hybrid.
Okay. Well, I am smoking more shake, even though the shake is
Oh.
like 30%. So like that's the only thing I smoke these days.
Okay, so it's not actually shake, it's pre-ground flour.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to
It's
sell a bunch of that when I was out
super
in
high quality.
Alberta. Yeah, very common for bowl smokers,
Yep.
whether that's pipe or bong.
Yep. And that's all I smoke. I don't really smoke blunts.
Mhm.
I don't smoke joints. I rarely do edibles or like concentrates or anything like that. So it's just bowls,
Mm.
you know.
I wish edibles had an effect for me.
I
But
know they don't really
they
affect
just
me
don't.
either, bro. I don't. Yeah, I completely. Maybe we're just too fucking fat.
Well, for some people that is a thing that like if their metabolism is too slow, the cannabinoids don't get absorbed through the stomach. They just get destroyed by the stomach acid and get passed out.
Oh damn.
um, and some people don't have like whatever enzyme it is in the stomach to absorb it to begin with, regardless of what their metabolism is like. And like for years before it was legal up here in Canada, I was like, I'd always try making my own edibles and never get an effect, and I always just chalked it up to like I was doing something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and like maybe I was destroying the cannabinoids when I was trying to extract it in the oil or something like that. And then legalization happened, and fucking had like 2,500 milligrams in a single dose, and then pitched 3 games of baseball, and we won all 3, and it's just like, yeah, no, this is just literally not doing anything. It's waste of effort.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I mean, especially like
Yeah.
just burning through money like that. But Gifted Anomaly says I was the only one. Edibles don't do shit to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not ever gonna be willing to risk eating a large enough dose to like fuck that up. But when I eat reasonable amounts, it doesn't really affect me. At the
Yeah,
most, my
like
stomach feels weird, but
for pretty much everybody that edibles will have an effect for, like 25 milligrams will get you some sort of effect. If you're a rookie, it might be too much. If you're a seasoned user, you will still notice it, right?
mm,
So
mhm.
if you go to a store or dispensary and they got a pack that's like between 10 and 50 milligrams and you try that and you don't get an effect, then edibles are just useless to you. Don't even bother trying.
Damn.
I dab a lot too.
Yeah, I haven't dabbed in quite some time, but I'd do it if I had access to it. I mean, I do have access to it. I just don't have a rig.
Yeah. I got a couple different electronic dab rigs. One of them was like a farewell gift when I quit the dispensary out in Alberta. It's the Zenko Duo.
Hmm.
It's pretty slick. It's got like a bucket coil in the base unit that has a fan and like a little glass attaches to the top of it, and when you turn the vaporizer on, the fan blows the vapor up into the cup and it fills from like the bottom up.
Mm,
And then you can pluck the cup off the base unit and sip on your vapor.
yeah. All right, I'm reading this page real quick, so I sound a little distracted. I apologize.
I also have my own rosin press, so when I get some real nice sticky flour, I'll press it into my own rosin and dab it. Melt it back into new flour and roll joints.
Damn. That's some high level stoner engineering, brother. That's some MacGyver level shit. It's like, and then you have the MacGyver smoker. He's like, get me a snorkel, a grapefruit, and a M80. He's like, hurry up, bro. I've made bongs with less.
That was a joke I used to say many, many years ago, was not to fuck with potheads, because we'll out science you.
That's true, especially when it comes to getting high. Like if you really want to find the devious innovator in the human, have a pothead not have a smoking method but have weed.
Yeah, they'll figure out a way.
They'll figure out a way. They will figure out a way. If I got to put it on the stove and let it like take a toilet roll and put the toilet roll next to the burning weed on the stove, I will do that. I don't give a fuck. I'm a goddamn junkie.
One of my favorite ones is with an apple.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Then people eat the apple
poke
afterwards.
a hole in it, carve a little bowl in the top. Especially when I was like younger, teenage years, it was great because I didn't have to worry about carrying a pipe or anything on me. I could just make one out of an apple, use it, and then throw the apple away. But I guess it could be wise to point out that I have like 5 apple trees in my yard.
Nothing wrong with that.
What you doing out there? Eating apples.
Oh yeah, I'm norching up. Cheers.
Yes, sir. Cheers. You following World Series at the moment?
I actually wasn't, but I did see the highlights of the Dodgers moving on because my homie's a fucking Dodger fan, and Shohei went to the Dodgers, and you know he's of course having the best time of his life, just going back to back World Series and all kind of shit, right? But
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, I'm just a jealous ex when it comes to baseball right now, bro. I'm just a jealous
Fair.
ex. Shohei is killing it over there, and it's just like we had the greatest player in the history. We had Buck Bokai. And we lost him to the rival Dodgers, and now they're winning World Series after World Series. The baseball gods just love luck in their favor, and it's just frustrating to watch. So, just like the Clippers, I'm not gonna watch them this year, man. I watched the WNBA this year. I loved the WNBA season this year, and I'm just gonna wait for the WNBA next year.
I saw the highlight for, what was her last name? Wilson?
Yeah, Asia Wilson.
It had a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
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 It was pretty slick.
Yeah, great shot. I mean, I watched that whole game. I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I did watch it back. And she is as pure of a shooter in the WNBA as we've ever seen. When her shot is on, dog, that shit is silky smooth, strokey, dog. She's.
Right on.
I have her as the 4th greatest women's basketball player of all time. And she might be better than Coop, but Coop just has more titles and more respect and more legacy, and she's just, she's Cynthia Cooper. But I feel like Asia Wilson of the modern era, she's the greatest of the modern era, for sure. She's the greatest of the modern era. And for anybody to cross into that conversation with Asia, they would have to win, because she's going to win another championship, so she'll have 3. Okay. Now, the greatest of all time conversation in the WNBA starts at 3. You can have 3 or 4 and be considered basically the GOAT. Now, I don't think anybody right now is going to say that she's better than Cheryl Swoops. But if she wins another one, then she's clearly better than Cheryl Swoops. And I just think you have one other person in front of her who is, Cheryl Miller, who is basically the Wilt Chamberlain of women's basketball. She never played in the WNBA, but she was still the iconic sort of Mount Rushmore player that she was. And there's a bunch of other players that probably should be on this list that don't get the nod, Lauren Jackson and people like that. But I feel like Asia Wilson is as good as I've ever seen in the WNBA.
I don't know. I always love to see athletes like elevating their league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure.
Any of the highlights of Victor Wembanyama over the summer?
I did, dog. Did you see that play?
Oh.
Did you see where he's coming up the court, dog, and he crosses over
Yeah,
into
yeah.
like a drop step? He bumps a 6'8" dude off him like he is a child.
Yeah,
and
and then
yams
basically
it
dunks
like
it
it's
from the free
Shaq.
throw.
Yes, dog. He is a cheat code. That is not fair. He's so good. His sister put up 26 points in the women's league. Like,
I hope he stays healthy because I want to see that career at full peak.
Yeah. Well, he still has to win, right? But he could be the greatest player ever. He has the upside of goat, like Billy Goat. He could easily be better than LeBron, easily be better than Jordan, easily be better than Wilt. He could be a person who scores 100 points in a game.
Oh, imagine if he gets down that Kareem skyhook, Wilt skyhook.
Oh, bro, why is he not working on that? I don't understand that. It's the most unguardable shot in the history of sports, and no one since Kareem has done it.
It is relatively a difficult shot.
But if you master it.
Yeah. The biggest thing is like when you're in that skyhook motion and you're on the 1 foot / you're in the air, even the slightest bump from the defender is putting you off your trajectory, which is not what you've been planning for.
Yeah, I think the release point for, depending on your size, because if you're not a big man, then you have to use more of your body to shield off, and it's like a real hook, like going over your head, right? But if you're a big man and you can kind of shoulder shield, then you're just going up, and it's like a flick, like Shaq's hook. Shaq's hook wasn't like a looping, you know what I mean? Shaq's hook was like a little turn and a flick, and you know what I'm saying? That shit would go down.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing with Victor is like once he gets enough mass on him, he's just gonna drop step and dunk on everybody from the free throw line. Like, I don't know. There's somebody smaller and quicker to double him and steal the ball before he can do it. I don't know what else you could do.
I agree with you.
I'm gonna head out to a buddy's house and watch the next Blue Jays game.
Yeah, no.
Made it to the finals for. Sorry?
You heading out right now?
No.
Oh.
The game's on Sunday. So I might be leaving formation a bit early to go to that.
Okay.
Be a long time since I watched a hardball baseball game.
I love me some baseball. I just wish I wasn't such a jilted fucking ex. I'm just so painfully over losing generational talent to other teams and watching them become all-time. Like Shea going to the fucking the Thunder and becoming the greatest player in the league. Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, bro. Like he real like I knew he was gonna be that good. If you ask anybody who knew me when we drafted Shea, I'm like, he could be one of the best players in the league. I would say that all the time. We gave him up for a bump, bro. For a straight up bump.
I did see the coaches voting put out. I think they're voting that, or they expect he'll be the MVP again.
Shay?
Yeah.
He probably will be. Especially if he's a year better. If he is a year better than he was last year, there's no one stopping him. He's unguardable in the mid-range. He's so long. He's such a high IQ player. He's gonna, if he wins 2, then he gets in, then you start getting into the like, does he crack the top 25? No, not yet. Okay. How many does he need to crack the top 25? 3? But if he wins 3 in a row, then he's well into the top 25. He's better than Barkley-ish.
I mean,
he's better than Vince. He's better than Vince now. He's better than Tracy McGrady now ever was.
Yep.
He's better than Chris Paul ever was.
That's pretty wild to say, but
that's wild to say.
Well, if Shea gets another MVP this year, no championship, I don't think he's top 25.
I agree.
MVP plus championship, I could see the argument for top 25. If he gets a Finals MVP along with it,
yeah,
I could say maybe see top 20.
Oof, is he better than David Robinson right now?
Ooh,
I'm saying though, bro, these are the conversations we got to start having now. With Shea,
Robinson's defense was so stifling though,
and Shea is a great on-ball defender. It's one of the things about him. He's such a good two-way point guard at 6'7".
Yeah.
It's unreal we gave that up for Paul George. It's unreal we gave that up for Paul fucking George.
He's not really able to defend a 4 or a 5. He struggles with some threes too.
Well, yeah, no. I'm not asking him to guard outside of his position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask David Robinson to guard fucking Isaiah or Jordan, right? Like that's apples to oranges. What I'm saying is that per his assignments and the sort of range of player he's expected to defend, I think he guards 1s and 2s pretty goddamn well.
He does, certainly.
GA says, what do you think about Wemby?
That's generational talent and genetics right there. If he can stay healthy, there's no reason I don't see him getting like 5 championships across his career.
I agree. I think 5 is, I think 3, anything under 3 championships is underachieving for Wemby.
Yeah. If he gets less than 3, I would bet that his career was riddled with injuries.
Okay.
Which would be very unfortunate.
That would be very unfortunate. Yeah. But he has the upside of being the GOAT. He has the upside of going for 7. He has the upside of, winning 4 in a row. He has the upside of being the most unguardable player since Shaq. Or Steph.
Yeah.
Really Steph. I mean, because Steph is the most unguardable player since Shaq. He'd be the most unguardable player since Steph.
Like that statement's true, but I mean, Shaq is the better comparison because they're big men. Steph is unguardable because he's quick and never stops moving.
I don't know. I would disagree just on the details of that. I think where I would say Steph is unguardable is his range breaks the center position. He renders the center essentially like unusable. Especially with Draymond at the 5. If Draymond's at the 5, you cannot have a traditional center on the floor. DeAndre Jordan, go sit down. Rudy Gobert, go sit down. Joel Embiid, go sit down. Greg Oden, go sit down. Patrick Ewing, go sit down. Like any traditional center, Alonzo Mourning, go sit down. Shaq, go sit down. You can't have him on the floor with Steph. You can't. You just can't. He's too good of a shooter.
Definitely a big part of that is his shooting spacing. I also think a good portion of it is because he's so quick and moves so much through screens that a traditional center wouldn't be able to keep up.
I agree. And you can't like
That's
really.
one thing I've always admired about Steph Curry when I watch him play is that like he's always moving, he's always hitting screens. Even if he doesn't touch the ball in a possession, he's still putting in the footwork. Nothing I hate more than watching a basketball team where four people are standing still and it's just one-on-one for 20 seconds.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I think it's also a testament to Steve Kerr and his understanding of what Steph Curry is and his ability to like create. Because I remember he had this play, and I used to run it in NBA 2K for the Clippers when we had JJ Redick, but it was called Elevator. Basically, it was like a double down screen into a double screen up at the top of the 3-point line, but he would run through that screen before it would close like elevator doors, and the defender would get trapped on the outside of the 4 and the 5 because the 2 and the 3 was setting the down picks by the by the basket. So they would come up through the key, and basically Steph Curry or Klay Thompson would run through the elevator doors, and Draymond, and at that time I think it was like who was it, like a Zaza Pachulia or whoever, you know what I mean, like whoever it was, they would basically close those elevator doors, and you know you'd have that open shot for Steph. So yeah. GA says I've been saying he gives me GOAT vibes. Yeah, I think Wemby has the potential to be the greatest ever. If he brings back the hook, he's the greatest ever. He could be a hook monster, bro. Like, why? I don't
Be
understand.
interesting to see how there's another young 7-footer, Flag or something, Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how is he not? I thought he was
like
7'1" or
6'7".
something.
Nah, I think he's like 6'7".
Oh, I definitely misread that. Then.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. How tall is Cooper Flag?
Cooper Flag is 6 feet 8 inches.
Okay, yeah, I was wrong.
Cooper Flag. What time is it? Damn, it's 11:21. Well, sorry about that. I'm gonna jump off of here, and
Yes,
I need to make a couple of phone calls to lock down some meetings. But I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Peace, brother. Yep. I'm still staying on stream. I just I'm jumping out of the thing. I can always mute myself on stream, so I'm still sticking around. I'm probably gonna be on stream for at least another hour or so, but I'll be back. big clams and oh my goodness. Okay. More stuff, more stuff. Is Battlefield out? Did Battlefield come out? Man, I hate being so fucking broke. Can't even buy Battlefield. But I got a whole nother game I want to play anyway, this Final Fantasy Tactics. So I don't care. I'll play that. Oh, it is out. Yep. Totally is out. I do kind of want it though, I'm not gonna lie. I can't get it right now, but I do want it. Oh, today is the 10th. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy Tactics. That's what I'm gonna do. So. That coffee is dead. Yeah, it looks amazing. It does look amazing, I'm not gonna lie. It looks so stupid. Oh, she ethered her. She it's funny, did you hear the version of Fee over Meet the Grams? Dog, that shit is so crazy. It sounds like she was. I heard one over Ether. I heard one over which one did I hear? It might have been in one other diss song. I can't remember. No, it's so hilarious. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she ethered her. She nuked her from space, from orbit. Um, it wasn't even fair. And there's nothing you can say about Fee. She's the best player in the league, or second best player in the league, however you want to 1-2 her with Asia Wilson. And then she owns her own basketball league with her husband, and she's like the Players Association like president or something. Like she is. That was the worst possible person to have come for the commissioner. No, I don't either. I don't either. It was the worst takedown of a commissioner of a sport ever. I never heard David Stern get roasted like that. I never heard even Adam Silver get roasted like that. Like Adam Silver has had to drop some bars on a few dudes, big dudes in the parking lot. He did. He was because he had to be as gangster as they was. That in that time, you had people like Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley and Vernon Maxwell you had to deal with. Like you think David Stern was gonna be soft? Those dudes were psychos. Like those dudes were literal psychopaths. I don't know, man. Xavier McDaniels and like fucking, you know, Barkley and those fools. Like yeah, dog. He had to deal with some. He had to deal with some maniacs. Like the NBA had maniac Bonzi Wells. Shit, bro. Karan Butler. Like motherfuckers had gun charges and shit. Gilbert Arenas. Like, dog. He had some real knuckleheads that he had to deal with. David Stern. There was no way Latrell Sprewell was choking out coaches and shit. Like, come on, dog. That was a different league. You couldn't have Adam Silver would quit. Adam Silver would resign in a month of commissioner of the 90s basketball and the early 2000s basketball. There's no way, dog. I know Adam Silver worked under Stern for a long time, blah, blah. But it's just Stern was a different breed. Stern was absolutely a different breed. His name was Stern for a reason. David Stern. Like, it's in his name. It's literally in his name. He couldn't be anything other than that. And his he had an interview actually before he died. He had an interview where who was talking to him about weed? It was somebody talking to him about weed and just about his whole career. And I'll be honest with you, dog, like he kind of came off as pretty likable. When it was all said and done, it was almost like I know I wasn't liked, but I was respected and I made this league respectable. And you had to pay these people because you had to respect them. And the way to respect people is to pay them. And David Stern made that. If you look at the way the league went under David Stern's tenure, it went from a league where people were getting paid less than $1 million to people getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts. So say what you want about David Stern, he made it possible for those dudes to have that lifestyle that he did. Not to say that the players weren't involved, but he had a big hand in that. He had a big hand in making that league what it was and keeping it quote unquote respectable enough to keep the paying patron coming back. Yeah. Oh, Pablo Torre. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, Kawhi and Steve Ballmer, they knew they were dirty, dog. I mean, at the end of the day, we had to do it. We had to do that because if Kawhi goes to the Lakers with LeBron and AD, listen, bro, that's a championship and a half, probably two automatically. They won one, but I really do think they win easily if Kawhi is healthy, because Kawhi is never fucking healthy. But they win three titles, probably for sure. I mean, 2021, 2021, 2022, I think they win all those. So, but let me get off of here, man. I need to get the heck. Mm. All you had to do was not name the company KL2 Spire. Ah. Oh, that's fucking comedy, bro. That is extra slapstick. You know what's funny is I'm probably gonna call in a lot of fucking favors over the next year that I've been sitting on for a long time. And I've been sitting on them for a long time because I only wanted to use them once. I only wanted to call in that favor one time. And it's because the scale of the project is so big and moving so fast and, you know, hopefully getting so well funded that it's necessary. But I'm seeing people come up, after last night's picture. I think a couple of people were seeing um, just a few joints. I'm gonna post another picture in Discord or another video in Discord. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let me get out of here. I will talk to you guys later. Probably won't be around tomorrow because I'll be working. But yeah, I probably won't see you guys again till Monday. No Black Culture Geeks this weekend either because SPJ is getting married. So yeah, enjoy your Saturday. I'll probably be in the Discord in and out and everything, but yep. So yeah, thank you everybody for not whacking it tough. Talk to you guys later. Peace, peace. Congratulations to us. I don't know. It should be streamed. All right, later.